Right, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for a Honda Civic 2.2 EX diesel. This particular car has covered just 68,000 miles and really very nice indeed. I'll go around the car for you. The sun's very low in the sky and it's playing merry hell with videos, so I'll do my very best for you, but all the lights, lenses, completely intact, all working perfectly. Front bumper's very clean indeed, just the odd tiny little stone chip, but the bonnet is incredibly clean, hardly a stone chip with any note on there at all. Certainly supports the mileage of the vehicle. It's very nice indeed. What I'll do is I'll come around to the near side of the car first. So it's a bit windy as well, it's just not really helping, but really clean in the panel work. Very clean car. Front wing and front bumper corner absolutely unmarked. Brand new set of front tyres literally just been fitted to the car. Front alloys very good, just a bit of curbing on the right on the outside edge, but very minor indeed. And then the panel work itself, very nice. Lovely original car. Hardly a mark on it, but it's kept really nicely. There will be the odd tiny little mark, but very minor. Rear wheel, very good again, just the tiniest little bit of curbing, but again, very minor indeed. And the back of the car, bumper corners, absolutely as clean as a whistle. And then to the offside of the vehicle, which again is absolutely beautifully smooth in the panel work. Just to come down the rear alloy, very clean. Again, just the odd minor mark on it, and then the remainder of the panel work, very clean. Final alloy, again, very good. Just the odd tiny little mark on it. So externally, we're looking at one of the very nicest you'll see this sort of age and mileage. Let's come into the boot area. Huge boot on these cars. 60/40 fold on the rear seats there, all in very nice condition. Underneath here, as you probably know, you get this hidden recess. Obviously, you've got an inflation kit there for the tyres, but as I said, all been kept very nicely indeed. Let's come into the back of the car now. You can see here I've got the seats in their vertical position. This forms what they call kind of part of the magic seat affair. Really clever design by Honda. All the full set of mats in the car, all in very nice condition as well. But you end up with this huge amount of extra space in the back if you so wish. You can put them down individually, and obviously, as you expect from Honda, all really beautifully engineered. Sort of click into place, and then if I can reach, exactly the same on there. Seats again, all in very nice condition. Loads and loads of rear legroom in these cars as well. Coming to the front now, driver's door card, again very good indeed. Just the odd very minor mark. Footwell areas, all very clean and tidy. Seat itself, as you'd expect with such a low mileage, all in very nice condition. Just pan across to the passenger seat, as with the driver's seat, very nice. So sitting inside the car now, so I do apologise, it is getting a bit later now. Now the sun goes in, of course, it goes very dark, but there we go. Take it from me, the dashboard is in absolutely beautiful condition. Obviously EX specs, so high up. Nav system, all the switches, everything in really nice condition, as you can see. But they are a wonderful dashboard, they really are. It's a lovely place to sit behind and operate a car from. And then my favourite part, this two-tier dashboard, so you set your driving position up to be kind of like that. So the steering wheel binnacle, the steering wheel rim goes in between the two. And if I just pan in there for you, 68,595 miles, and there's no warning lights on this vehicle at all. Obviously auto lights, auto wipers, but the steering wheel looks and feels very fresh in hand as well. But it really is a fabulous car, this one. So finally, just to come under the engine bay, as expected from Honda, always beautifully presented, fabulous engines, cam chain driven, no cam belts, no DPF filters. This one's just been serviced by ourselves as well to top up all the previous servicing on the vehicle. What will follow this video will be a road test of this very car. Then this is a quick road test video. I'll get my microphone right. And this is for a Honda Civic 2.2 EX diesel. This particular car is registered OV57OTX, and mileage at the start of it is 68,570 miles. The reason we do the road tests, as I pretty much say in all of them, is very simple. We just want customers to see the cars that we're selling actually in operation. We're aware that, you know, the internet's made it really good for searching for, you know, particular cars, particular mileages, etc. And people are willing to travel a lot further to go and see them. Unfortunately, as we've found to our cost, sometimes you go and see a car only to be told it's absolutely fine, and when you get there it's got a glaring fault which you clearly should have been told about. And so hence that's why we do it. So if there's anything on the car that is immediately amiss or obvious when I'm driving the car, mechanically or otherwise, I will and I always do report it back to you. Road tests also done on the same lovely quiet country roads just outside our premises, and so hopefully it'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself if you come and see it and we're offered a test drive in the car. To come to the car itself, obviously being very well looked after. The car is going to be going in for a service later today, and it will have a brand new independent MOT, which I think is going to be done tomorrow, so that's all part of the sale of the vehicle. Engine, really cold day today, started absolutely instantly, settled to very smooth, very even idle. It pulls beautifully through the rev range. I mean, these are fantastic engines, they really are. Goes wonderfully well, just picks up with real sweet engine note for a diesel engine. There's no warning lights on the vehicle at all related to the engine or any other part of the car. I'll let you know what the operating temperature is once the car's warmed up, because it's literally only just started. But as an engine, it's a fabulous unit. Clearly, of course, you know, they fuel economy, you know, 50 to the gallon's easy out of them, in all honesty. Obviously it depends on how you drive and where you drive, but that's I've always got it out of mine. I've got customers getting far more. Obviously also what's lovely about them is they are cam chain driven engines. There's no cam belts on these, so no big sort of cam belt services, and they don't use the DPF filters that a lot of diesels now use, which are causing you know, horrendous issues for the buyers and the sellers alike. But the engine, perfect, absolutely lovely, which you'd expect given such a low mileage on the vehicle. Clutch in the car, smooth in operation, quiet in operation, whether the clutch is in or out, engine note stays exactly the same. Bite point is exactly where it wants to be on the clutch pedal travel, and it bites beautifully. You know, hard down in gear, it bites very well indeed. Gearbox on the vehicle, I mean, I've eulogised about these before. I mean, they are absolutely brilliant. It's a wonderful gearbox, very smooth and fluid in operation, but with a mechanical feel to it, which is actually very hard to achieve when you've got a cable running from the gear lever through to the gearbox at the front. But Honda manage it, they achieve it. It gives you, you know, a reason to change gear rather than trying to avoid changing gear. The actual gear changes themselves are so slick and so easy, but as I said, they actually give a sense of mechanical feel. You know, going through the gears, it's fingertips, but you just guide the gear lever, the gating, the springing, everything about them is brilliant, and the synchromesh is second to none. It's absolutely superb. In terms of wear, which is obviously what I'm looking for in the video, I can't detect anything in the gear linkage at all. It's absolutely spot on. So in terms of overall powertrain, you know, I can't fault it. Again, I wouldn't have expected to with such a low mileage, but it's worth noting anyway. Car tracks bullet straight. There's no vibrations coming back through the steering of the car at all. And again, I can't detect any obvious wear in the steering. sometimes, you know, with suspension and steering, it could just feel a little bit sort of loose, a little bit clunky on cars, you know, older cars. But this feels tight as a drum. It feels really, really, really taut. What's lovely about the steering and the chassis, which I absolutely adore, by the way, is just how dynamic the car is to drive. You can drive along, you know, taking your family around nice and sensibly, but it's got kind of an alter ego to it. It's got, you know, it's very, very dynamic. The steering's quick, it's very precise, beautifully weighted as well. Really, really good job Honda did on it, and it complements the chassis absolutely brilliantly. The chassis is taut enough to keep up with such a quick steering rack, which isn't always the case. I always remember old Alphas having incredibly sharp steering, lovely steering, but loads of body roll, and you know, the chassis just felt sort of floppy, and it was not a good combination. Not all of them, so don't beat me up. It's you know, some were very good, but some weren't. But this Honda, absolutely fantastic. It's just a lovely car to drive. You know, whether you're hustling it through corners or just, as I'm doing now, just cruising along, you know, very comfortably indeed. Just checking the cruise control function. It's all working exactly as it should as well. Auto lights, auto wipers, again, all working exactly as they should. Also very quiet in here. I mean, this is the legal limit at 60 miles an hour. You know, what I'm looking for at these sorts of speed, any kind of wind noise coming in where it might have a damaged, let's say, windscreen seal or door seal, which is allowing air to come through, and it, you know, you get an annoying wind hiss, but there's nothing on this one at all. Just going to stamp on the brakes as well. Yeah, a nice solid brake pedal. Now there's, well, again, what I'm looking for there is just signs when you hit the brakes. Does the car pull right or left, or is there any kind of pulsing on the brake pedal or vibrations coming through, which would suggest sort of warped brake discs. But again, all in very, very fine order indeed. Looking around inside the car, again, it's literally just arrived, so we've not had a chance yet to clean it. It'll be cleaned later, valeted, but it's actually in very nice condition. Beautifully made, really well made car. I mean, there's no squeaks, no buzzes, no creaks, no rattles, nothing at all. And this is, and I keep saying it, this is real build quality. This isn't, you know, 3 years down the road, or when the car test magazines get them and they're brand new and shiny. This is, you know, a car that's sort of 11 years old or so, and it's just wonderfully, wonderfully tight, taut still, the whole thing. You know, it's certainly a stark contrast to some manufacturers who are claimed to have, you know, class-leading build quality, which just don't hold up as well. It's the long and the short of it in daily use and normal use. But I love this interior. It's so unique. It couldn't be anything other than a Civic, and I think it's all the better for that. And I completely appreciate that beauty's in the eye of the beholder. It's not to everyone's taste, and I'm all the better for it, because it'd be a pretty boring world if it was. But EX specs, so we've got the nice high-up sat-nav system. You know, my later Civic, they're down here, and I don't like it as much. There, you just hardly take your eyes off the road. And likewise, this brilliant two-tier dashboard. You've got high-up display for MPH there, plus also your rev limit and your eco mode as well, or gauge rather. But you know, I'm happily looking at the car coming towards me, speed on the road, but at the corner of my eye, very clearly you can see the MPH is clear as day. It's just genius, it really is. The whole dashboard works brilliantly well, and what's lovely, I mean, it is so unique, and at night it looks absolutely fantastic when it's all illuminated. It really does. I mean, it looks great in the day, but at night it looks very, very special indeed. But everything's working beautifully on it. All the pixelation's absolutely fine. You know, all the settings I've gone through worked absolutely as they should. Just to come back to the temperature gauge now, because it's been running for some time now, the engine, that's running as a third on the temperature gauge, which is exactly where it should be. But overall, as I said, that, you know, the videos are all about sort of finding any issues I can on the car.
there's nothing to report on this one. It drives really, really, really nicely. It's a lovely, solid car to drive. I can't find any issues on the vehicle at all that is worth mentioning or otherwise. If, obviously, as always, if I've managed to forget something, which I'm inclined to do, don't hesitate, please do call us, and I'll happily answer any questions you might have about the car.